streets today on the 50th anniversary of Martin Luther King's assassination. We'll take you there.
Voters are going back to the polls, and this election is shining a light on diversity in one congressional district.
And there are disturbing new reports of a chemical weapons attack in Syria. Late details just ahead.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
What Dr. King believed in. I was a kid when the assassination happened. Now I'm unionized, and I understand what he was trying to do for us, as us that wasn't born, us that just got here, on what we believe in, and we're not going to stand for nothing.
Hundreds of members of Black Lives Matter and the Fight for 15 marched through the streets of downtown LA. Good evening, I'm Brad Stryker.
And I'm Juliette Muir. Protests are demanding equal pay and racial equality. The rally began on Wilshire Boulevard and then moved to Skid Row. Tiffany Dupree reports on why the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was significant for organizers of the protest.
Hundreds of people showed up for the Fight Racism and Raise Pay protest, organized by Fight for 15 and the Black Lives Matter movement. Many cities like Los Angeles have already approved the $15 minimum wage increase, but organizers say this is only the beginning.
I think it's accomplishing two things at the same time. It's helping to end racism and economic inequality, which in many cases go hand in hand.
One protester says more people should come together for equality.
Me as a person of faith, but also as a Latino in Los Angeles, it's very important that we go beyond our voters, beyond our people, beyond our communities, to make sure we stand with all people whenever they're being mistreated, oppressed, whether economically or some other way.
Some organizations like the Employment Policies Institute don't support the $15 minimum wage increase because they say it hurts small businesses.
This particular business, the Almost Perfect Bookstore in Roseville, is going out of business because I can no longer afford to pay the ever-increasing minimum wage.
Rallies like the one today are going on across the country in cities like Atlanta, New York, and Memphis, where Dr. King was assassinated 49 years ago today.
I'm out here for what Dr. King believed in. I was a kid when the assassination happened. Now I'm unionized, and I understand what he was trying to do for us, as us that wasn't born, us that just got here, on what we believe in, and we're not going to stand for nothing.
There's a lot of people that feel like their voice isn't being heard, but look at these people around me, they're just like, I want to speak my voice, I can speak it up, like, that's what I just want to see.
Many organizations united today to fight what they say is systematic racism and poverty wages, issues that will continue to bring them together in the future. For Annenberg Media, I'm Tiffany Dupree.
Today is Equal Pay Day. It symbolizes how far into the year women need to work to earn what men made in the previous year. The latest numbers come from the Institute for Women's Policy Research.
One factor in the gender wage gap is that people simply don't know that they aren't earning what they're worth. So a woman may not know that a man with the same title, who's been with the company the same years, they both have great performance reviews. She may not know that she's not earning the same as he is.
Women earn less than men of the same race and ethnicity. On average, white women earn around $210 per week, less than white men. Asian women earn about $233 less than Asian men. And each week, Black and Hispanic women both earn $77 less than their male counterparts.
A federal appeals court in Chicago ruled today that LGBT employees are protected from workplace discrimination under the 1964 Civil Rights Act. That ruling is the first of its kind in federal appellate court. The case began with a suit filed by an Indiana teacher who claimed the community college where she worked didn't hire her full-time because she's a lesbian. Today, voters in the northeast Los Angeles area are deciding who will fill the 34th congressional district seat. The 34th District includes several neighborhoods in Los Angeles, including part of downtown LA, the Westlake District, Highland Park, Eagle Rock, Boyle Heights, and Lincoln Heights. I spoke with voters at a polling location in Highland Park who say they're most excited about the diversity of the candidates in this special election. People are polling up. walking in and casting their vote for the new representative of California's 34th Congressional District.
I think it's more important now than ever to make sure that you do your civic duty to help out the people around you.
They're voting to replace Javier Becerra. He represented the 34th District since 2013. In January, he resigned.
We want someone who represents this district and everything that we care about.
Here in the Highland Park Recreation Center, a feeling of responsibility.
Given the current administration, I think it's important that you do exercise your right to vote.
There are 24 candidates for voters to choose from, so when people looked down at their ballot, they were excited by the diversity that could represent their community.
I was really excited to see a lot of people of color, especially Latino people.
But racial diversity just scratches the surface of the candidate pool.
It's comforting to me that there were so many young people in this race.
About 1/3 of the candidates are millennials, and more than half are immigrants or children of immigrants.
Having that diverse group of people, increases the chances of having a better dialogue.
But more importantly, voters say they're excited by people's eagerness to run for office.
It's exciting just to see people who are taking a chance and putting themselves into the process and engaging with the political system in this way.
If one candidate does not receive more than 50% of the votes, the two with the most votes will vie for the seat in a runoff. That's set for June 6th.
A new survey from the UCLA Luskin School of Public Affairs shows that a majority of LA residents are satisfied living in the county, but the fear of deportation is rising.
How legitimate these concerns are is almost beside the point, because people are feeling a higher level of anxiety than they've ever felt before, and that's the anecdotal experience that everyone in this town is having. So even 20% of Anglos have expressed worry.
The survey found that 37% of participants worry that they or someone they know might be deported. More than 80% in that group are hesitant to engage with the government in any way. Former LA County Supervisor Zed Yaroslavsky, the director of the initiative, claims that this kind of hesitation affects the entire population, not just those fearing deportation. Race relations received the highest approval rating out of all of the questions included in the questionnaire.
Dozens were killed, including children, in yet another airstrike in Syria, but this one is different.
Our international news anchor Barbara Estrada explains why this one may be a war crime.
Thank you, Juliet. A State Department official said the Assad regime is responsible for a chemical attack in the northwestern part of Syria. We want to warn you, some of the images you're about to see from the scene are graphic. Dozens were killed and hundreds wounded from the gas attack. Hours later, another attack hit one of the clinics treating the victims.
When the pictures were smuggled out before by a wonderful man named Cesar of those who were victims of chemical attacks, didn't we learn a lesson when Barack Obama refused to do anything?
We can't just do nothing. You can't let Assad cross this line without having consequences.
And the U.S. will no longer provide funds for a United Nations agency that offers healthcare and family planning for more than 150 countries. The reason? Because the agency provides abortion services.
The Secretary General deeply regrets the decision by the United States to cut financial support for the UN Population Fund, which could have devastating effects on the health of vulnerable women and girls and their families around the world. He believes that the decision is based on an inaccurate perception of the nature and importance of the work done by UNFPA.
Now, more than $32 million is to be removed this year, as well as the services including the family planning, preventing unsafe abortions and unplanned pregnancies, and HIV/AIDS, and mental health support that is given by this agency. The mission is, quote, to ensure that every pregnancy is wanted and every childbirth is safe. In 2015, the U.S. was the fourth largest donor. UN officials fear that the cuts may further trigger instability in the countries affected. Back to you, Brad.
Republicans are ready to change the rules so Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch can be confirmed with only 51 votes, a simple majority, instead of the usual 60 votes. This is known as the controversial nuclear option.
I'm going to vote to change the rules because I'm not going to be part of a Senate where Democrats get their judges and a Republican can never get theirs.
This isn't about voting against somebody or having an issue with them. It is literally trying to stop using the filibuster for something that it was never intended for.
Democrats and even some Republicans have publicly spoken out against using this drastic measure.
I think it was a dark day in the history of the United States Senate. It's going to happen, but look, if you can do this with 51 votes, what do you think the next nominee is going to be like?
I believe there ought to be bipartisan consensus behind a lifetime appointment to the nation's highest court that has such immense power.
The nuclear option was last used in 2013. That allowed Democrats to win approval for the nomination of 3 lower court judges picked by former President Barack Obama.
Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren proposed a College for All bill. It would make public colleges and universities tuition-free for students from families that earn up to $125,000 a year. The legislation would provide states with $47 billion per year to cover more than half the cost of all tuition. Student loan rates would drop from 4.32% to 2.32%. The bill would also expand the number of students and colleges that could participate in work-study programs. And the bill would make community colleges completely free for students of all income levels. While the College for All Act satisfies Sanders' campaign's promises, it is unlikely that Congress will pass the bill because of the Republican opposition to free public higher education.
13 companies have pulled their ads from Fox News host Bill O'Reilly's time slot after a report found that O'Reilly and Fox paid out millions to settle sexual harassment allegations made against him. The companies pulling their ads include multiple car makers such as Mercedes-Benz, Hyundai, Mitsubishi, and BMW North America. Insurance giant Allstate is also pulling their ads from O'Reilly's time slot. More companies are expected to follow suit.
All the rain this winter has done millions of dollars of damage to our roads. Who will pay for the repairs?
And more than 170 firefighters battled a fire in South Los Angeles. We'll take you to the scene.
And the USC Thornton School of Music has created a brand new space for students to practice music and hold concerts.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up? Oh, we finally bought a place. Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on... Is it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
That's low, that's low. That's low and below.
Look, he's blushing.
What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea. Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
A food processing plant in South Los Angeles erupted in flames last night. The Los Angeles Fire Department said the fire started in the kitchen area of a 2-story building, but flames spread quickly to the roof and attic. All employees of the Proportion Foods processing plant were evacuated safely with no reported injuries.
Well, we're going to remain on scene right now. We're pouring copious amounts of water, even utilizing foam to really blanket that burned material to ensure it's out. And once that's completely out, then the cleanup phase will begin.
The fire took several hours to put out, with hotspots continuing into the morning.
Caltrans says the cost of repair to storm-damaged roads is close to $1 billion, and California drivers are going to have to foot the bill. This winter, unexpected rain and snowstorms eased the California drought, but also did some harm.
California experienced a very powerful series of storms that did remarkable damage, severe damage to our state highway system.
Damage that Caltrans estimates will cost the state over $860 million.
When you add local damage on local roads that are not under the control of Caltrans, the total damage tops $1 billion.
Across the state, roads were damaged by mudslides, floods, and boulders. Los Angeles freeway damage adds up to $55 million. This estimate doesn't include repairs to the Oroville Reservoir. That alone could cost around $200 million. Governor Jerry Brown proposed a bill last week to raise over $50 billion for road repairs, with transportation improvement fees and fuel taxes. One of the ways the bill hopes to generate $52 billion in the next 10 years is by increasing the excise tax on gasoline by 12 cents a gallon. But as more people turn to electric cars, this might not be enough.
Therefore, the revenue that we get from the gas tax has not been keeping up with the need.
USC's head of transportation engineering says this bill won't do much to fund repairs.
We need a wholesale shift toward away from how we currently fund road space.
Caltrans says their backlog is $6 billion a year statewide.
We are going to be working for quite some time trying to catch up with the damage that was caused during these storms.
The bill is going to California Senate next week.
All right, and I know a little bit of rain is on the way, unfortunately, but hopefully things are still looking up for the rest of the week.
I know, it looks like we just got out of the clear with the rain, and here it's back again.
Let's go ahead and check in with our weather anchor, Rachel Ramos, to see what's in store. Rachel?
Thanks, guys. Good evening, everyone. What a beautiful day it's been here in Los Angeles. Sunny and breezy. Can't beat that. We are starting to see it cool down, though, at 67 degrees. If we look at tomorrow, however, up in the mountains, Big Bear is looking at a nice, cool 36 degrees. And believe it or not, although the snowboarding season is over, a few of the slopes are actually still open. And near the beaches, there will be some patchy fog in the mornings, but you can expect things to clear up with temperatures in Malibu at 64 degrees, 79 Thousand Oaks. And for us here at USC, expect another warm spring day at 78 degrees. But don't get too comfortable because things are going to change this weekend with cloudy weather and high chances of rain this weekend. Your highest chance of rain will be on Friday, but you know what they say about the rain. April showers bring May flowers. And this year has actually been one of the rainiest seasons yet, causing flowers to bloom everywhere in SoCal. Tourists and SoCal residents are flocking to normally quiet areas to see these majestic wildflowers. People are using the hashtag SuperBloom to show pictures of purple verbena, orange poppies, and primrose on social media. If you're planning on taking a trip to these flowers, the best local places to go are the Santa Monica Mountains, the Antelope Valley California Poppy Preserve in Lancaster, which is just a 2-hour drive up the 405. And if you really want to see an array of floral colors, the Anza Borrego Desert State Park is scattered with dandelions galore. Although remember, it is going to rain in parts of SoCal this weekend, so plan accordingly. And your Instagram too can be pop in with some poppies. So are you guys planning on checking out the flowers?
Absolutely. I have to add one more to your list. My hometown, the Carlsbad Flower Fields. Great place to go and check out some of those beautiful flowers.
That's right.
Yeah, I definitely want to see where you're from, Brad, if you want to take me.
We'll make a weekend getaway out of it. Thanks so much, Juliet.
A new performance space for USC Thornton students has officially opened its doors. The Songwriters Theater unofficially opened its doors to students of Thornton songwriting classes at the beginning of this semester. It's the centerpiece of Thornton's popular music program, which is based in the idea that all components of the music business start in the process of writing a song.
And so we saw this as an opportunity to really sort of embody in a physical way a space that makes songwriting its priority. And so we were able to make this space all about words and music.
The space is already open to students enrolled in the songwriting classes and are free to book for the space for events.
All right, Juliet, what'd you think about the Gonzaga North Carolina game last night?
Well, I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, so it was definitely something I was watching and interested in.
We're excited.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Obviously, it was a huge game last night. I had a great time. Picked North Carolina in my bracket, big for me. But I'm more excited for the start of baseball. So when we come back, I'll tell you about a few former Trojan standouts trying to make their mark in the big leagues. And our sports correspondent Terrence Davis talks to a budding water polo star as USC looks ahead to a huge game against Stanford. And we check in with the USC Beach volleyball team after their 50th consecutive win. Stay tuned, sports are next.
If you store your guns properly, I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
I won't have to tell so many family members. I'm sorry.
I won't hear as many scary stories.
And I won't have to tell my kids. This isn't a drill.
Please.
Please, do it for us.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always, Lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Get your ass out. You're not sitting here. Yes, I am. Move. Give it to him hard. No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stabbing me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow. I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to ATVN. It's number 1 versus number 2, NorCal versus SoCal. This week's USC versus Stanford women's water polo matchup is shaping up to be a classic. And earlier today, our sports correspondent Terrence Davis caught up with the team to see how they're preparing for the big game.
I'm here at the Utenzu Aquatic Center with freshman phenom Maud Meggins on the USC women's water polo team. Maud, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So Maud, you were named back-to-back MPSF Newcomer of the Week.
Yes.
Tell me how you feel about that.
Yeah, it's really a big honor because back home we don't have those like little awards or prizes, and I feel like it's really an effort of the team because without my team I wouldn't be able to become MPSF newcomer, and I'm really happy about it, and I hope that we can keep up the good work and we'll be better every game.
So you guys are going against a really, really tough opponent this weekend against Stanford. You guys beat them 10-9 in overtime the last time out. What are you expecting from Stanford this coming matchup, and how will you guys be prepared to take on the Stanford Cardinal this week?
Yeah, we prepared a lot because Stanford is a huge opponent. They have a lot of good players. They also have a lot of returning Olympians. So we really need to take this game seriously and remember what are our basics, what are our defense, our offenses. We have to come together as a team and go over every situation, what could happen. Our coach told us, just envision yourself, like what could be the worst thing that could happen, and be prepared for that so you're always ready to come back and fight for it and have an answer to what they are giving you. We have to know what they are going to do before they're actually doing it. So that's what we're aiming for.
You can see Terrence's full interview on uscannenbergmedia.com. And you can see SC take on Stanford at home on Saturday. And they won't be the only red-hot Trojan team playing this week. The top-ranked beach volleyball team just won its 50th consecutive match. USC will look to extend its huge streak against Washington and Arizona State. The team knows winning 50 straight is no easy feat.
I think we just take each game one step at a time. We don't really pay attention to streaks and stuff like that. We just take each game and each match with the same mindset as the game before. We go out and we're such a competitive team that I think that fuels us to go out and just play our best no matter who we're playing. We definitely try to play up to our own potential.
And the women of Troy just picked up their 4th Pac-12 Pair of the Week award of the season. Seniors Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes have won the award for the 5th time in their careers, and the terrific Trojan tandem will have their chance to win their 100th consecutive match this weekend against Washington. Meanwhile, women's lacrosse will be traveling up and down the coast. On Friday, the team plays Oregon in Eugene, and the very next day they'll be in San Diego to face SDSU. With only 5 games left in the regular season, the women of Troy know they must pick up some momentum in these last few weeks.
Going into our last 2 games in MPSF conference play, we really want to keep playing those really well, come up with wins in the rest of those, and hopefully win the MPSF tournament again, and that would be our plan to the NCAAs.
The number 10 women of Troy have scored 42 goals in their last 2 games, and they'll hope that offensive firepower carries over to their road trip this weekend. Now let's head to the Diamond. Right now, USC is at Long Beach State for a midweek battle against the Dirtbags. Earlier this season, SC beat Long Beach State in a thrilling 11-inning game at Dado Field. The Dirtbags certainly have revenge on their mind as they lead 2-0. After this game, USC will head home to prepare for a 3-game series against Stanford. And how could I mention baseball without talking about the start of the MLB season? SC fans might see some familiar faces on the diamond throughout the year. No school has sent more players to the show than USC. From Oakland to Toronto, 6 Trojans were active on opening day. Some guys are looking to adjust to a new city and new team, while others have a ring in their sights. And with no USC team scheduled to play tomorrow, Trojan fans should have their eye on both the Royals-Twins game and the Braves-Mets game. Ian Kennedy will get the start for Kansas City, and slugger Lucas Duda will be at first base for New York after leading his team to an opening day victory on Monday. You know, I'm so excited for baseball to be back. I know college basketball just ended, but man, I love baseball. I'm so excited.
I actually also really like baseball. It's my favorite team sport to watch because I feel like you get to talk to everyone around you and like have a good time, eat some popcorn, all that.
Absolutely. Excellent sport, excellent food. What can you complain about? Thanks, Nathan.
Of course.
USC just announced its baccalaureate speaker in May, and it's pretty cool.
I hear that it's going to be a spiritual experience. More on that next.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new. Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened? Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi. You mean you were driving? Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Deepak Chopra will be USC's 2017 baccalaureate speaker. Chopra is known for being a best-selling author of alternative medicine pioneer, wellness expert and spiritual teacher and philanthropist. The Harvard Medical School professor is known for combining scientific theory with spirituality. He is the founder of Chopra Foundation and the author of over 75 books on wellness. He is set to speak on May 11th at 5 p.m. at Bovard Auditorium.
Wow, you had a lot of fun reading that one, didn't you? I think it's cool. I think it's a cool speaker that's coming.
Hey, you know, between Deepak Chopra and Will Ferrell, USC's got some good speakers.
That's true. That's really true. Yeah, I'm excited for the commencement ceremony. My family's a huge fan of Will Ferrell, so really looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be some laughs, just like the ones I just had by myself.
Well, I certainly hope so, but I don't know if anybody could laugh quite that hard. We'll see, though. All right, thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone here at Annenberg Media, I'm Brad Stryker.
And I'm Juliette Muir. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night.